just got even more real. The Dreamhack Starcraft 2 Masters Summer is the first of the 3 online events of the ESL Pro Tour 2020-21 circuit. Yes, bring it on! Dreamhack was an important tournament before, it's even more important now. Our Protoss player knows how to conjugate the English verb to possess. I have, you have, he has! Home of the world's worst grammar jokes. Right here, people. Looks like it's a tight, greedy opener for Haas. Minimize your travel time and block out those Reapers. Just a standard wall off for our Terran player. How about I introduce him so I can actually call him by name? I've been watching our Terran player quite a bit, because I'm way too addicted to this game. And he is the cure! Now, every time Haas puts a probe out on the map, you gotta watch it. And there you go, he's just stashed a pylon in the middle of the map. I can't possibly say what it's for, but you gotta think it's for a future proxy. I've never seen that hiding spot before, so I don't know if it works. We're playing on the map Everdream, where everybody always tries to use the tree sight lines as their hiding place. And that's Haas for you, always doing something different to try to keep his opponents guessing. But both his gateway and his core are built at home in his main. So maybe he's going to try to stash some tech, but what a strange spot to do it. Very high risk, I would think. Now the probe's pretending his official business was to try to delay that command center. But I think all he was really doing is trying to pretend he was a regular scouting probe. Cure going with the ever-classic Reaper expand so far. Cure's going to absolutely know our Taiwanese player's reputation. He's going to want that Reaper for scouting. Oh, and his SCV comes out and he sees there's no Nexus at the natural. Oh, and it's a hidden robotics facility for Haas. Is that actually hidden though? I feel like it's right out in the open. He's got to have practiced this out with every known Terran scouting path. Cure reacts to his intel by building a factory. Oh, there he goes. He's pulling a whole bunch of SCVs. He thinks he's getting rushed. Bunker goes down. The Reaper stays back. The SCVs are going to form a kind of human shield. It's like a body wall for a single Marine and a Reaper, at least until that bunker gets up. And now it's a second hidden pylon for Haas? This will not be the first time I've been mystified by a Haas build. I absolutely love this dude. And there's a shield battery in the middle of his main, a precaution, I think. But there's no attack coming for his main. Cure's focusing on surviving. Oh, check this out. It looks like it's going to be some kind of an immortal rush. But there's going to be a Twilight at the second hidden location. And there's a lone stalker starting the attack before the immortal even gets here. I guess he's a fake or he's testing the Terran D. Whoa, how did that Reaper miss? He missed it. The proxy stayed hidden by like a millimeter. Cure's reactoring Marines and putting a tech lab on his factory. I think he knows he needs a tank. But I'm not so sure he's going to have it in time. And now Haas is expanding. There's just no way you can guess what this guy's gonna do. The Reaper finds the Twilight Cancel just as it completes. And he's chasing down the probe. I think that's gonna be our first blood. Yes, it is. But while the Reaper's away, the Immortal and the Stalker are coming for the attack. There's only one Marine in that bunker. SCVs are coming to repair. The Immortal's barrier takes the Marine fire. And the bunker falls. Cure pulls back, the Stalker snipes the Marine. Cure has evacuated his natural. It looks like plan B is a bunker on the high ground. The tank is halfway done. Haas is able to attack that natural command center unimpeded, but he decides to pull back as it lifts off. Even though it's discovered that Twilight Council's trying for the Zealot leg upgrade. And hello, there's a warp prism. Oh, but it's not attacking the main, it's pulling back to defend the Twilight Council proxy. No more Immortals are being built. He's making an Observer and a Dark Shrine. Cure's making a Raven, though. After the tank was built, the tech lab was donated to the starport. Oh, the Reaper got the pylon just before he died to the Immortal. The upgrade is halted. Haas is going to make a replacement pylon. And now the Warp Prism's on its way back to attack. But the surprise value's gone. Cure's reclaiming his natural. He's restarting a bunker and he's got his tank on the low ground. He's even starting his eBay for a chance to get ahead on upgrades. The Warp Prism's going to try to slip into the back of the main. He'll pick up a free depot there, which is a conservative choice. There's no tank yet to stop him. A second one is in production. Cure's going to group up his Marines and go after that Immortal. It's a Scotty beam me up. Cure's actually supply blocked. Also, the Dark Shrine's been cancelled, by the way. It was some kind of Haas fake out. Oh, the Ravens found the Observer. The Marines are going to get it. And it's also going to see that Immortal Stalker duo inside the Warp Prism were trying to attack again. Haas pulls them back. Oh, the Batman-Robin combo's over. Haas is going to upgrade and go for double Batman instead. All this attacking by Protoss. Terran's actually got an SCV lead. Haas is going to start having to do some damage here. But Cure's tank placements are going to make that difficult. Bam! Was that a hardened shield or an easy shield? Sorry, I keep forgetting it's now called Barrier. 100 hit points, last 2 seconds. Cure's getting a Viking to deal with that Warp Prism. He's also started +1 attack for his Marines. Pretty soon he's going to be able to leverage that SCV lead he's building up. He's also got a steady diet of mules. Kaboom! Haas finds out that Cure's got tanks covering his main as well. And Immortals just don't match up that well against big packs of Marines. Any cheap units, really. Oh, is that Viking going to get the Warp Prism? He can't lose that Warp Prism with his cargo. The Stalker's coming to the rescue. Cure really wants it. No, he pulls back. Double sigh of relief for Haas. He saves his Warp Prism and he prevents Cure from finding his proxy. I can't believe he's had something this close to the Terran base hidden this long. There's a scan on the Toss Natural. That's actually not going to let him see the cancelled Dark Shrine. The next attack is actually going to be Immortal Speedlots, and here it comes! But boy, was Cure ready with the SCV repair. This is a critical hold for Cure. Haas with 5 SCV kills, but he's eating a lot of tank fire. Maybe a little less after his Speed Zealots kill the low ground tank, but the Speedlots have evaporated. Haas pulls back and goes after the depots. Is he actually going for some kind of supply block strategy against the Terran? I think it's just attacks of opportunity. He's taking the kills he can get while staying out of range. Has almost managed to even up the worker count. Getting the natural would certainly be one better. But his Immortals can't shoot up. The liftoff is the end of this attack. Cure has held. And he started stim packing combat shields while doing it. Worse, he's got his first medevac out. Haas will soon be facing the full force of Terran Bio. Cure is just about to start an upgrade advantage too. Haas is feeling the pressure as his window begins to collapse. He dumps everything he has into a couple more rounds of speed lots. Looks like he's gonna try another wave. Cure really has an entrenched high ground position. Haas is trying to slip in outside the range of those tanks. But his eager Beaver Zealots are gonna charge the ramp. They're just gonna evaporate. And the Marines are about to get their first stim. As soon as they have it, they rush down the ramp at those Immortals. Oh, clutch force field. That probably saved Haas's army. But his attack has been blunted. Cure knows it. He's putting down his command center again. Yeah, Haas is pulling back. If he loses those Immortals, that could be game. No more tanks for Cure. It's all Stim Bio backed by medevacs. Haas is up to 5 gates, but he's behind on army and on workers. Well, he was until he threw everything into speed lots. I don't think Haas intends to let Cure bring the battle to him. He's going to try to put it all on the line. Cure's scan is going to give him advance notice of the attack. Oh, it's a supply drop depot. You don't get to see those very often. Oh, Haas has his Zealots clumped at the back. You don't want that. Warp Prism's going to come in possibly for another round of Zealots. Nope, he gets his Zealots in front and he's going for it. He doesn't see any tank splash. That means he can try to battle on the fringes. Immortals can outrange Marines just by 1 unit. Haas is going after Cure's depots again, but Cure's been giving himself room to breathe. He's got a surplus. Oh, there's Widow Mines on the Terran ramp now. And a Liberator. Haas is going to pay if he attacks into that. He blocks the ramp with a Sentry Force Field, and he pounds away at the command center at the natural. There's the liftoff. It's a Mexican standoff. Who's going to attack into who? Cure gathers his SCVs in front, and then he charges! Oh, the Raven's anti-armor missile hits every Zealot. Every Zealot and Stalker. The Stim Marines capitalize. The Zealots disappeared like they were some kind of battle mirage. Were they even there? Great Warp Prism juggling by Haas, but he is in so much trouble. At a minimum, Cure's going to finally find that proxy. Another round of Zealots is going to try to meet the Terrans. Cure knows it's time to fly kites. He actually didn't see the proxy. But I'm not sure he cares all that much as long as he's annihilating Haz's army. Oh, the Liberator's even going after the Warp Prism. Oh, what a cool game this has been. The Widow Mines are in place, and Haz is overrun. Oh, it's GG! Kjur never saw the proxy. He did not see it. He actually won the game, and he never saw the proxy. Sure, another second and he would have seen it. But I've never seen a game where a player proxies a robo right in front of his opponent's base, hits him with it all game long, never has it discovered, and still loses. That was a strange beast. But maybe not so strange if you take into account that Kjur's defense is pretty much off the charts. Okay, I know we want to get to game 2, but I got to take a shot at analyzing what the heck Haz was doing in this game. So, this is an Immortal Rush. But I think Haz has disguised it by stashing a Twilight Council. I think he correctly guessed that Kjur would find it and suspect a Blink Stalker all in. Ideally, this would cause Kjur to make the wrong units. Too many tanks or even Marauders, and not enough Marines. Marines, you see, aren't great against Stalkers, but once they mass up enough, they're pretty darn good against Immortals. Kjur wasn't supposed to have so many Marines. That's actually why I think Kjur made the Raven, by the way, to kill the Observer that would have let the Stalkers blink in, though bizarrely Haz actually did make an Observer. And also, the Raven turned out to be the MVP. The anti-armor missile was perfect micro. Suddenly Haz's army lost 3 points of armor and shields right as they charged into a pack of Stim Marines. So, what I think happened was rather than get cute with the rock, scissor, paper composition game, Kjur just decided his Stim bio could beat anything anyways, so he kept pumping Marines and his composition never suffered. I.e., he stuck to his guns, he stuck to his build. His defensive tank placement was superb, and it compensated for his initially weak army. Gradually, with each successive wave of attack, Haz fell further and further behind on workers, and Kjur just got stronger and stronger. If I'm the coach breaking down film for Haz, I might choose to criticize the decision to save the Twilight Council. Or at least save it with his Warp Prism. Couldn't he have instead maybe dispatched a Stalker from his main to take out the Reaper? At that moment, Kjur's main was increasingly vulnerable on the right-hand side. He didn't know about the Warp Prism, and he was building his defense at his natural. Look how wide open that is. Of course, that's easy for me to say, isn't it? I have perfect vision and a replay that I can freeze frame with. Haz is making split-second decisions on imperfect information, which is why we love this game. For a while, I actually considered that Haz may have been going for a supply block strategy. That strikes me as pretty weird. I mean, Terran can just supply drop from the command center. Sure, it costs them a mule, but it's not like they don't get any value for it. I think on reflection, Haz was just killing what he could get. Anyways, this awesome build just underscores why Haz has so many fans. Everybody loves to see what cerebral strategy he'll bust out next. So let's see what's next. Adjutant, if you would, please.
Hurriedly transitioning from incorrect caster analysis. The game begins now.
Oh, we're gonna do this on Eternal Empire. Alright, okay, I can get behind that. No offense to our Terran player here, but early game, all eyes are gonna be on the Protoss. He may be ranked 58th in the world, but when it comes to strategy, he's #1 in our hearts. And don't pretend you don't know why, because you do. He's just been bred with that creative, out-of-the-box spirit. It's just something that he has! Well, now that I do that intro, watch him go and do the exact same build. Though, actually I wouldn't mind that, as it was kind of interesting. Our Terran player may look like he's setting up for the same Reaper Expand build, but it's actually something a little more post-punk, a little new wave, a little Friday I'm in Love, because he's Kjur! It's an English rock band, people. We're going to want to keep an eye on Haz's Gate and Go probe while we look up Kjur's Aligulac ranking. He's currently #4 in the world, #2 in South Korea. Kjur is a force this year. I don't think he's going to change up his... Whoa! Last game I thought Haz had the worst pylon hide ever. This game he's managed to top it. Who hides a pylon by a watchtower? His opponent's presumptive watchtower. This is so weird. He wants his opponent to find his pylon. There's the core back home. And there's the Reaper for Terran. Bizarrely, this is playing out like the last game. Oh, there's a difference. Haas just pulled the gas cap on Cure. That's a good idea. See if you can make him angry. Did the SCV not see that? He did not! Okay, that was cool, but the Reaper has to find it. There's no way he can miss that. Command center's down. Cure's not deviating from his build in the slightest. He has no reason to do so. Cure's SCV is going to scoot up to the Protoss main, and just like last game, he's going to find no nexus at the natural. Will Cure pull all his SCVs again? Well, the proxy hasn't changed. It's a robo once again. Well, one difference is the Reapers picked up the scouting probe a lot earlier. And that means once again, Cure's going to grab the first blood. The Reaper has to find the proxy pylon. It has to. Yes, it will. I mean, there's just no way he can miss that. And now he's going to shut down the pylon. What's Haz's plan for this? Well, one thing is he's got a hidden probe. He's got a second backup probe ready to rebuild. And maybe, just maybe, he can scramble a stalker over there to chase off the Reaper. But the race is on. Cure's just added a Marine to increase his DPS. Cure's building a factory. And that gas cap actually completed. Haz has dropped a backup pylon, and the robo is going to complete. What? All this for an observer? Stalker comes in to save the pylon. Can he do it? It's in the red. Haz chases off the Reaper. The pylon was down to 36 hit points. Okay, so Haz has clearly timed this out before. And so like last game, he's expanding at his natural. So why exactly does he need the world's fastest observer? Cure, though, is treating this as a 5-alarm fire. He's got a low ground bunker and a high ground bunker. That observer is going to have no chance at doing any damage to him. Perhaps the point is to provoke an overreaction from Cure. Now that he's got his bunkers, Cure is going to try to deal with that gas cap. Tank is on the way, as are reactored Marines. And he's making a second racks before starport. Oh, look at this. He's canceled the lower bunker. He's pulling back to his main. He's treating this as a 10-alarm fire. Very conservative defense from Cure. Haz is making that Twilight Council once again, but this time back at his main. And here comes that same Batman and Robin duo. But this time the low ground bunker's already gone. And the high ground bunker's already loaded. This is not getting in there. But maybe he can grab some easy supply depots. Hey, maybe we'll get to see another supply drop. Twice in one series. Wouldn't that be cool? Tank is sieging up. This is Fort Knox. Haz is not getting inside. But maybe Haz doesn't need to. Maybe all he needs is to establish a contain. But that's not the plan. It's a warp prism just like last game. And this time he doesn't need to go back to save his proxy. Cure's going for a second scout. He wants to see what's up. That SCV's gonna die, but he's gonna see everything he needs to see, including the fast Zealot leg upgrade. He's not gonna see Haz add a couple of gates, but that he could probably guess. Cure has started stim. Here comes the drop on the main. He's already got 2 SCVs and a cancel on a depot. These are unupgraded Marines who do not yet have a medevac, but there are a ton of them. Haz assassinates the Reaper and gets out. It's been pretty efficient for Haz so far, and he hasn't fallen as far behind on workers as he did last game. Cure, though, is now ready to reclaim his natural. He can sense he's now got himself the bigger army. Haz's observer is going to see the Terran pulling out, though. Does this mean he's going to know to dart back in? Yes, it does! Well, I've been put in my place for bad-mouthing that observer. It's Batman and Robin for drop number 2. Cure's got to pull his force all the way back again to react to this. And there's the beam me up Scotty. And for the first time this series, Haz is up on workers. I think we're starting to see how this strategy was meant to play out. The good news for Cure, though, is he's going to have stim not long after Haz finishes the Zealot leg upgrade. And once again, he's going to have a ton of Marines to capitalize. Oh, look at Cure's Starcraft mind in action. Oh, he deduced the observer. How did you know the exact moment I pulled out of my base? Because you were watching me, that's how. Haz will have a chance to do his best to try to winnow down that Marine count. He needs it down. Once those Marines hit that critical mass, Immortals are not going to be useful. Oh, look at this. He's warping in at his proxy. It's out of range of the gateway, so it's like the world's slowest warp-in. Mr. LaForge, more power to the forward pattern buffers. Okay, so my Patrick Stewart impression is like really weak. Okay, here comes the Zealot leg timing. Stim is done. Combat shields are just starting. There's 2 tanks, but the bunker's not yet done. Haz gets the bunker, but once he sees the Marine stim, he has to pull back. I love that he's thrown in a single sentry so he can get that Guardian shield. Oh, now he's going to try to elevate her into the main, but there's a Viking. Very smart for Kier to make that Viking before medevac. It's worth it if he gets that Warp Prism, and there's not a lot that Haz has that shoots up. Still, Haz almost gets it. Kier with the repair. Kier is always so active with his SCVs in battle. I love that about him. Haz is going to pounce on the eBay. There's not actually an upgrade being made, though. It was just used to let Kier make a turret. Kier may have the SCV lead again, but he's losing a lot of mining time. Ugh, just too many Marines for those Zealots. They just evaporate. The SCVs are going to screen while the Marines look to chase Haz out of his base. There's the recall. It wasn't exactly a Nina recall, though. It cost him 2 of his Immortals. But on the other hand, it cost Kier 15 SCVs. Haz is up 11 workers. This is what happens if you miss the recall. You gotta head home on your own feet. Oh, can Kier rescue that burning depot? Where's that SCV? Oh, he was so close. But we were not denied the treat of an explosion. Oh, those pattern buffers are so slow. I feel like I'm watching paint peel while I'm watching these Zealots warp in. Speaking of speed lots, there are 4 loaded into that Warp Prism. But Kier has a counter drop planned. He's got 8 Marines loaded in that medevac. Haz does not have an observer network. He is not going to see that. They're going to both hit at the exact same time and make my life hard, aren't they? Come on, who hits first? Kier's Viking is in excellent position. Haz's Stalkers want to try to force it back. I hope these Marines remember to bend their knees. Haz does just barely have vision of this. It's double Warp Prisms unloading. You don't get to see that very often. Oh, I think that's a famous caster pylon. 2 of Haz's 4 gates are going to get powered down. Oh, they are both going to get so hurt by this. The speedlots have a clear rush at the main. SCVs are dying. Haz cancels his backup pylon. Kier's showing patience, trying to group his army together. Haz snipes his Viking. Kier has to lift off his main, but it's a probe pull at Haz's main. And Kier's gonna shut down Haz's 2 remaining gates. That's a huge amount of damage with just 8 Marines. Haz's only easy targets are just supply depots. Once again, Kier's got that incredibly defensive position on his ramp. Haz is way up on supply, but he's got nothing at home right now. 2 Zealots is the sum total of his defending army. And we've already seen Kier knows how to fly a kite. There's that stutter step micro. Oh, this is costing Haz so many probes, so many probes. And he's not even getting the Marines. Oh, he's gonna lose them all 23 probes. I think Kier just won the economic damage game there. Haz doesn't want to push into those tanks. Kier is even starting to reclaim his main. What started out so great from the Taiwanese player is slipping away. He decides to recall to save his natural. Kier hops into his medevac and escapes. Those Marines definitely earned their paychecks. And if they get paid a bonus per probe kill, they are rich. And there's the Immortal who missed the recall. Excuse me, just going home. I think Haz has realized he has to defend his proxy. It's going to be forfeit if he doesn't get out there. But he also has to defend his base. Kier may have the lead, but his base is still in tatters. I would have thought he'd be sprinting for the proxy, but he must know he can't bring it down in time. We're about to hit the 10-minute mark, and I just gotta say, this has been an awesome game. Yeah, Kier's taking a minute to reset his base here. Once again, his defense was just superb. It's like his defenses have practiced these drills where they just bottle themselves up on his ramp. And he compacts himself so tightly there's very little for Protoss to get at. This is like stunned that his proxy's still there. And Kier still does have those Marines. Whoa, hey, a supply drop. I missed that he was actually sitting at his max supply. And so yes, we do have these commandos hiding behind enemy lines here. They may be cut off from their HQ, but their mission is not yet over. They go to slow down the 3rd, but find it's not there, which means they're going to try to hit the main again. If they can repeat that stunt, they could even put this game away. There's only 6 of them, though. Oh, Kier doesn't want pylons. This time he wants probes. He wants to keep that probe count nice and depressed. Haz is going to run him off with a quartet of security zealots. Hey, you kids, this is Ire, private property. Oh, but Kier's looking to upgrade to double medevac for his next drop. He started to head out, but he pulled back. Oh, I think he's waiting for a third medevac. Haas has been saving up his money, and now he's making DTs. He has gambled on a desperation Dark Shrine. He's put them inside his Warp Prism, and now he's making regular Zealots. Yeah, it's a triple drop for Terran. This is going to pack a lot of punch. Oh, is he actually going to pass over Haas's army? That would be huge. They can just barely catch a flash of each other. Cure definitely saw it and pulled away. Haas might have seen it too, I can't be sure. I can't believe that proxy's gone unmolested so long. Do 3 medevacs constitute a doom drop? When your supplies are this low, I think it might. Haas is looking to try to expand to his third. Cure unloads his entire triple platoon. Haas does have a force at home, but it's not a lot. Cure scans it, he's gonna like what he sees. Here comes the charge right at the natural. There's the stim. There's no shield battery here. The stutter step has been annihilating the Zealots all series long. Haas may need to recall again to hold. Oh, he's gonna tap out. Cure goes 2-0 and takes the series. That was decisive, but very entertaining. Is it wrong that I want to give some of this applause to Haas? Okay. I love that we got to see this build twice so we could get a better sense of what it's supposed to do. But let me make the obvious point first. It's pretty hard for Protoss to sustain an offensive against Mass Marine without some kind of splash damage. Early on, this strategy of Haas's had great shock value, but as the game stretched on, with no Storm, no Colossus, and not even Disruptors, the Marines just become more and more dominant. Their DPS is just better. I'm not really sure how the Dark Shrine is supposed to fit in. Call it a bias, but when up against Mass Marine, I'd rather he showed a little love for Battledock. But overall, I just loved how gutsy this was. It made for a really, really fun game. Knowing that he could get a robo right next to his opponent's watchtower because he's mapped out the Reaper expand and exactly how many units his opponent can have and how long it takes to drop a pylon. And then he hits the natural, and then he hits the main, forcing his opponent off balance while he picks away at his workers and depots, gathering up little edges again and again and again until they start to add up and hit that critical mass. I bet this totally works against lesser Terran players. Cure, though, of course, defends like a boss. Apparently, when Cure has Marines on a ramp, they become unkillable. Great series. One definitely worth telling a friend about. Also, just so you know, we've got plans for more awesome matchups coming from Dreamhack. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you don't miss. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.